You know, sometimes life hits you with something so hard, so unexpected, that it shakes you to your core. And when that happens, you find out real quick who's really for you. But let me tell you something right now. This year, 2025, it's not about proving anything to anybody. It's not about trying to be louder than your critics. It's about one thing, focusing on YOU and learning to be quiet while you build. See, we live in a time where everybody's showing off everything. Everybody's loud. Everybody got something to say. Social media done turn people into performers. You post one little thing and suddenly the world thinks it knows your whole life. But let me tell you the truth. Growth happens in silence. Peace happens when you get quiet. Healing don't need a microphone. Success doesn't need an announcement. You don't got to post your every move. You don't need to tell your friends what you're working on. You don't owe anybody explanations. And if they really care about you, they won't need them. You see, people got this bad habit of wanting to be seen before they're ready. But when you shine before you're solid, you crumble under pressure. Let me tell you a story. There was a time in my life I was trying to do everything at once, trying to please everybody, trying to prove I was worth something. I was doing things not because I wanted to, but because I was afraid to be still. I was afraid to sit in silence and face myself. I was scared of that quiet room, scared of what I might hear in the silence. But one day, I had to stop. I hit a wall. God said, sit down, be still. And I didn't like that. But that moment saved my life. Because when I finally sat down and focused on me, not them, not what they thought, not what they said, just in me, everything changed. Some of y'all are so busy watching other people live their lives, you forgot to water your own garden. You're scrolling, liking, sharing, but not creating, not building, not healing. And you wonder why you feel stuck. You're consuming more than you're contributing. And the worst part, you're listening to people who haven't done a thing you're trying to do. You're taking advice from folks who ain't ever built nothing, ain't ever struggled and come out of it better. People who don't even believe in themselves, and somehow their voice is louder in your head than your own. Listen, 2025 has to be different. It has to be. You can't afford to live another year on autopilot. You can't keep showing up for everybody else while abandoning yourself. You can't keep speaking life into others while your own soul is starving. Silence is powerful. Silence gives you space to hear God. It gives you space to hear your purpose. It gives you clarity. Because when you're quiet, you stop reacting and start reflecting. You stop explaining and start evolving. And I know some of y'all are hurt. I know you're tired. I know you've been through things that should have taken you out. You've had people lie on you, walk away, break promises. You've given love and loyalty and didn't get it back, and you're carrying all that in silence too. But let me tell you, that silence is sacred. That silence is where you'll find your strength. Because when they stop clapping for you, when they stop texting back, when the calls stop coming in, when the world gets quiet, that's when you meet the real you. And let me tell you something else. Not everybody deserves access to you. Not everybody needs to know your next move. See, when you're healing, you got to protect your peace. When you're building, you got to protect your vision. Some people don't want to see you grow because they liked you better broken. They liked you confused, distracted, second-guessing yourself. But not this year. Not anymore. This year, you show up different. You keep your circle small, your energy clean, your intentions pure. You move in silence, not out of fear, but out of wisdom. Not because you're hiding, but because you're protecting something sacred. And here's what's beautiful when you focus on you. You stop competing. You stop comparing. You realize your race is yours. Your timing is yours. There is no behind when you're walking your own path. There is no too late when you're in alignment. Let the world be noisy. Let them talk. Let them wonder. Let them assume. That's none of your business. You keep building. Build that business. Start that journal. Take that course. Go to therapy. Travel. Read. Meditate. Wake up early. Pray. Speak affirmations. Rest. Stretch. Cook your own meals. Move your body. Drink your water. Mind your business. Protect your peace. Focus on you. And don't expect applause for doing what's necessary. Don't look for likes. You don't need validation for becoming the best version of yourself. You are not here to entertain. You are here to evolve. Growth doesn't need an audience. You don't owe them the story of your comeback. You just show up healed. You just show up strong. You just walk in a room and let your presence speak for itself. Let your consistency speak. Let your discipline speak. Let your peace speak. Let your confidence, quiet, humble, powerful, do the talking. Sometimes the best response is no response. Not because you're weak, but because you're wise. Some people will try to pull you into drama, distractions, chaos. Don't fall for it. You got places to go. You got things to build. You got healing to do. You want to change your life in 2025? Here's the blueprint. Shut the noise out and turn the volume UP on your inner voice. Stop trying to be heard and start learning to listen to your spirit, to your gut, to your intuition. That whisper that says, keep going. That nudge that says you're made for more. That little voice that says, rest, breathe, trust. And let me tell you this, just in case nobody has said it to you in a long time, you're doing better than you think. You've survived 100% of your worst days. You've walked through fire and still showed up with a smile. You got a heart that's been bruised but still beats with purpose. That's strength. That's real power. You're not broken. You're becoming. You're not lost. You're being led. And everything you're going through, every delay, every disappointment, every closed door is not punishment. It's preparation. You are being positioned for something greater. But you got to get quiet long enough to recognize it. You got to get still long enough to hear the call. So this year, stop trying to be loud, be light, be rooted, be calm, be focused, be silent. Watch what happens when you stop announcing and start aligning. Watch how your life shifts when you stop chasing noise and start choosing peace. This is your year, but only if you make it yours. Stay focused, stay quiet, stay grounded, and most of all, stay true to you. And here's the thing, when you start doing that, when you start really focusing on yourself and staying silent, people are going to notice something's different about you. They might not be able to put their finger on it, but they'll feel it. They'll feel your absence. They'll feel your energy shift because you're no longer available for nonsense. You're not replying to drama. You're not explaining your piece. You're just living, and that alone will confuse people who are used to you being accessible every time they needed something from you. There's a certain kind of growth that requires separation, not forever, but long enough to get your mind right, long enough to detox from the noise, long enough to remember what you even like, what you even believe, what you even need. Because if we're honest, some of us been living for other people so long, we forgot how to live for ourselves. We forgot what it feels like to trust ourselves. We forgot how powerful we are when we're not performing for love or acceptance or applause. And don't let guilt stop you. Don't let people make you feel bad for choosing you. You have every right to step back. You have every right to take time for yourself. You're not being selfish. You're being responsible with your peace. There's a difference. Some folks will try to gaslight you into thinking that just because you're no longer bending over backwards for them, that you've changed. And you have. That's the point. That's the goal. See, in silence, your priorities get real clear. In silence, you see who's still around when you're not over-giving, oversharing, over-explaining. You start to see who values you for you, not just for what you do for them. And yes, some people will walk away when you stop catering to their comfort. Let him. Anybody who leaves when you stop draining yourself was never really in your corner. Anybody who needs you to shrink in order to love you is not your people. So don't be afraid to be alone for a little while. Don't be afraid of the quiet. That's where your soul gets recalibrated. That's where your purpose gets confirmed. That's where you finally hear that voice that's been whispering all along. The one saying, this ain't the end. You're just getting started. You want to know what's really loud? Discipline. You wake up every morning and do what you said you would, even when no one is watching. That's loud. You keep going when nobody is clapping. When nobody sees the struggle, that's loud. You become consistent, patient, focused. That's loud. But it's a different kind of loud. It's the kind that don't need a microphone. It don't need approval. It just moves. Quiet, unstoppable, unshakable. And when you move like that, something shifts in you. You don't chase anymore. You attract. You don't beg for love. You embody it. You don't ask for permission. You walk in purpose. You stop proving yourself to people who were never supposed to be part of the plan anyway. And hear me on this. Your silence is not emptiness. It's strategy. You're not falling behind. You're just pulling back the arrow, so when you launch, it's with precision. So when you rise, it's with depth. And some people, they won't understand why you've gone quiet. They won't get why you ain't showing up like you used to. But they don't have to. Because silence is the language of those who are building something real, of those who are healing something deep, of those who are listening to something higher. And every time you resist the urge to explain yourself, every time you choose peace over petty, every time you stay home and read instead of running from your thoughts, every time you sit still and let the tears come instead of pretending everything's okay, you're doing the work, the real work, the uncomfortable, unglamorous, silent work that leads to transformation. But don't get it twisted. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means maturity. It means you've learned that not every battle is worth your energy, that not every opinion deserves a reaction, that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just keep going. People will talk. Let him. People will doubt. Let him. People will underestimate you. That's fine. You're not here to be understood. You're here to evolve. You're not here to entertain them. You're here to elevate you. You're not here to argue. You're here to align. And the more you focus on you, your habits, your healing, your goals, your mindset, the more life starts to make sense. The clearer the path becomes, you stop second guessing yourself because you're too busy working on becoming yourself. And when you finally see progress, when you start to feel lighter, when your mind gets clearer, when your heart isn't carrying so much weight, you'll know it was worth it. You'll know every silent night was preparing you. Every unanswered call was protecting you. Every quiet season was setting you up for something bigger. You'll look back and realize the silence wasn't a pause. It was a process. Because when it's time for you to speak, for you to shine, for you to step into everything that's yours, it's going to be undeniable. And the best part, you won't even have to announce it. Your presence will do that for you. Your energy will do that. Your peace, your focus, your transformation, that'll be louder than anything you could ever post, ever explain, ever argue. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You don't need to be seen to be valuable. You don't need to be praised to be progressing. You just need to stay committed to your process. Stay anchored in your growth. Stay rooted in who you're becoming. And every day you do that, even if it feels small, even if it feels slow, even if nobody else sees it, you're winning. You're rewriting your story. You're reclaiming your time. You're finally becoming the version of you that you were always meant to be. And don't let the pace fool you. Just because it's taking time doesn't mean it's not happening. Slow growth is still growth. Silent progress is still progress. You might not be shouting from the rooftops, but every morning you get up and try again. Every night you lay your head down knowing you gave it your best. That's movement. That's transformation in motion. Sometimes the greatest victories come without a single witness. You hit a breakthrough alone in your room. You conquer an old habit in the middle of the night when nobody's watching. You make a hard decision and nobody claps, but you walk away with your soul intact. That's real power. That's integrity. That's the kind of strength nobody can give you and nobody can take from you. See, when you focus on yourself in silence, you start recognizing the patterns. You notice who drains your energy. You realize what habits are keeping you stuck. You start hearing those inner voices you've been ignoring for years. And yeah, sometimes those voices are uncomfortable. Sometimes they tell you things you don't want to admit, like, you've outgrown this, or you've been settling, or this relationship ain't feeding your soul. And that's where the courage comes in, not the loud kind that kicks down doors, but the quiet kind that walks away from everything that no longer serves you. The kind that says no when your people-pleasing wants to say yes. The kind that stays home to work on your goals when everybody else is going out. The kind that doesn't chase closure, just accepts peace. You start seeing life different. You stop being reactive. You stop wasting energy trying to control how other people see you because you're too focused on how YO see you. You're too invested in your own growth, your own peace, your own joy. And when you finally fall in love with your own company, that silence becomes golden. That solitude becomes sanctuary. And yes, some days it's hard. Some days you'll feel like you're missing out. Some days you'll scroll and see everybody posting, everybody partying, everybody shining. And you'll wonder if you're doing it wrong. But let me tell you, you're not. You're doing what most people won't. You're taking the long road, the quiet road, the road that doesn't come with shortcuts or instant gratification, but the one that leads to real, lasting change. You're building something solid, and solid things take time. Solid things don't need to be broadcast. They just need to be nurtured. They need your attention, your patience, your consistency, and sometimes your silence. You'll know you're on the right path when the noise around you stops bothering you. When you don't feel the urge to respond to every criticism. When you don't need to clap back or prove a point. When you'd rather protect your energy than prove your worth. That's when you know you're growing, you're healing, you're transforming. And don't forget, not everyone is meant to understand your journey. Not everyone is supposed to walk with you into the next season. Some folks were chapters, not the whole book. And you don't owe anyone an explanation for outgrowing what once fit. You just keep turning the page. You keep rising in silence. You keep showing up in the dark. You keep doing the work that nobody sees, because one day the results will speak louder than anything you could ever say. One day your peace will walk into the room before you do. One day your presence will say, I've been through the fire and I came out refined. But not yet, not now. Right now is the quiet season. Right now is the building season. Right now is the moment where the world don't see you, but you see you. You wake up and remind yourself who you are. You hold yourself accountable. You pray. You sweat. You cry. You study. You learn. You grow. Quietly, faithfully, relentlessly. And you start to realize you don't need noise to feel alive. You don't need chaos to feel relevant. You don't need constant attention to feel worthy. You just need you, the real you. The one who remembers what they came here to do. The one who's tired of distractions, tired of delays, tired of detours, and ready to reclaim the power that's been inside all along. And there's no perfect time. Don't wait for the stars to align. Don't wait for the right mood or the right people or the perfect conditions. Start now. Start with what you have. Start in silence. Start while you're scared. Start while it's messy. Just start and stay focused, because as long as you keep moving, even slowly, even silently, you will not stay where you are. As long as you stay committed to your growth, your peace, your calling, you will not stay stuck. And as long as you trust the process, no matter how long it takes, you will find your breakthrough. So let me leave you with this, and I want you to feel it deep in your spirit. You owe it to yourself to become everything you were created to be, not for applause, not for validation, but because you deserve to know who you are when you're not performing for the world. You've carried burdens in silence. You've fought battles nobody clapped for. You've rebuilt yourself in the dark. And after all that, you're still here, still breathing, still trying, still becoming. That's not weakness. That's strength beyond measure. So don't break your silence just to be seen. Don't lose your focus just to feel included. This season is sacred. This work is holy. Protect it, honor it, trust it. Because when the time is right, not when you're loud, not when you're liked, but when you are ready, the world will see what silence built. And when they ask how you did it, when they wonder where it came from, you won't need to say a word. Your peace will speak. Your presence will speak. Your life will speak. Louder than anything you ever had to shout. Thanks for watching.